Meri Brown from TLC's Sister Wives.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this Tamron Hall interview.
Fans of the show know that I used to host their reunion tell-all for 4 seasons.
I really didn't think there was going to be a whole lot to say about it, but in hindsight, I think there is. Let's dive in. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly go through.
I doubt that.
I will bullet point the different questions that she asked and the responses from Meri, but then I am going to talk about the brouhaha that ensued regarding her not being asked back.
I will be honest with you, I was told not to come back.
Because that's not really new news. If you followed here, we've talked about that in the past before, but let's discuss.
Break it down.
Okay, so for those of you who missed it, at first she asked, why do the show Sister Wives? The answer was because at the time, Warren Jeffs was in the news. People thought he was the face of polygamy, and because they clearly are very different from the FLDS and clearly very different from Warren Jeffs even, who even gives the FLDS a bad name, they wanted to show America the other side of polygamy.
Why did you do it?
It's not about the money, money, money.
Okay. After that, Tamara shows a clip of her interviewing the Brown family in one of the seasons when she was the host. Meri gives one of her non-answer answers where it's like, well, maybe somebody or a wife could, or if somebody in one of those situations. What was the question and answer? Okay, let's see. I don't know because this was a clip and I don't want to go back and dig it up out of the episode. I think this was talking about getting into the one house thing. I don't think this was the season where they were going from the individual houses in Vegas to the cul-de-sac. So this had to have been the circumstance where Cody was presenting the one house idea again, part of his big picture. Meri was concerned about it. So she talks in circles and doesn't want to, I guess, throw anybody else under the bus or point the finger at herself either. So she tries to answer the question without answering the question at all. It's kind of maddening. All right, I'll cut it and insert it.
I think the issues that I would see would be the 4 of us just being so aware of the 4 of us and Cody and what's going on, where we had been so used to having our own space where we didn't see our sister wives, we didn't see Cody. And all of a sudden, when you're all there seeing it, you possibly could have some jealousies going on. I'm not pointing a finger, and I'm not saying that I feel it.
But you are saying something.
But I'm saying that it's definitely a possibility that, you know, we would have emotions.
So was there jealousy?
Oh, yes, there's always jealousy.
Yeah.
There was always jealousy, and we never denied it.
How can she say we never denied it? She just sat there denying it. She wouldn't admit it. She wouldn't say anything about it on the thing. She couldn't get the words out at all. At all. It's crazy.
I'm not pointing a finger, and I'm not saying that I feel it.
But you are saying something.
But I'm saying that it's definitely a possibility.
But then she goes on to try to explain why she wouldn't get the words out and why she was fumbling around and talking in words that didn't answer the question. Her explanation was...
I was thinking when I was watching that clip, I was like, I don't want to put any accusations on any of my then sister wives, you know what I mean? But I know that some people had more of an issue with it than others, but there was always jealousy. How can you not?
And I think
this disappointed me in Meri. This disappointed me. Do you know why this disappointed me? Because she could have taken the high road right there. She didn't. even after all these years. Meri, 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 level up or rise up or uppity up, whatever it is you're doing in your business. Come on. You're supposed to be moving on, moving up. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Oh, she still, after all this time, is using this opportunity to say, oh, I was acting like that because another one of my sister wives. I mean, she basically said we all had jealousy. Okay, to be fair, we all had jealousy, understandably. Unless your heart is cold or you really don't like the guy at all, and you're just thrilled that somebody else is with him, you're going to be jealous. So she came out and admitted it. And it's nice that she also came out and admitted that as part of the culture and part of their faith, it's inappropriate to have those feelings. You're not allowed to have those feelings. It's wrong to have those feelings. This is a religion created by men. Clearly. Could you imagine? Could you just for a second imagine if a faith was created where a woman could have all these men and they're not allowed to be jealous at all when she flits around to the different ones and goes from house to house to house? And when she's over there with them and hanging out with them, and he's not allowed to say anything, be jealous. He's supposed to just be happy when she comes over to his house and the man, and in a good mood. And when she's telling him, did you fix that yet? He's like, I'll be right on it. Let me go take care of that right now. I know I've been working all day, but yeah, no, I'm gonna take care of that too. Good, because I'm gonna sit down and have some bonbons and watch my favorite show on Netflix. That's what I'm planning on doing while I'm here. I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep too. And he's like, but you haven't been here. I wanted to spend time with you. Yeah. I got to get up early and go back to Joey's house. I mean, could you imagine? It's so insane. This religion is so insane. I can't. All right. That's not even what we're talking about. I'm off on a tangent.
Typical.
Here, upon reflection, she's like, yeah, I talked in a lot more code back then than I do now. No.
You were giving me like secret code language, I felt.
Listen, I definitely spoke a lot more secret code language then than I do now.
Yeah.
So untrue. Meri talks in code all the time. She's like, well, if a wife might possibly say something like, I don't know, her Facebook is full of code, her Instagram is full of code, might be coming soon. She tries to mislead people. She posts pictures with guys to insinuate it's a boyfriend just to get people to talk. And then she's like, I don't know why everyone's saying I have a boyfriend. She just enjoys the whole messing around with people. That's her thing, I guess. So to say that she did it then, but she still does it now. She still does it on the show. She does it in real life. She does it in this interview. I'll find the clip. In this interview, she comes right out and does the exact same thing. But this was her opportunity to explain that situation and just say, yeah, I was jealous. I didn't want to admit it because it's not considered noble. So I was just kind of talking around it, and I just didn't want to say it out loud at the time. But instead, she said, well, there were some people who really had a difficult time with it. And then adds, well, we all did. We all have suffered from it. But we had to start with there were some people, insinuating there were other people that struggled more than me. And we know that's Christine, because Christine has always come out and said, I have a hard time with the fact that he's going to other people's houses. Christine was never cut out for this life. Never. And she's admitted it. So it's easy for Meri to use her as somebody to throw under the bus because she's admitted it on television. She's obviously admitted it to everybody in the family. But that wasn't necessary, was it? No. That made me upset. Okay. I knew once I started reviewing this, I was going to start chapping. Here we go. Okay.
That's right. You're the talker.
I was thinking when I was watching that clip, I was like, I don't want to put any accusations on any of my then sister wives. You know what I mean?
As I'm watching the clip, I'm thinking, I don't want to. Then don't. What are you saying this for? You don't have to tell us what the thoughts in your head were. Those are thoughts you can keep in your head. Rise above, rise up. That's what rising up is. When you get those thoughts in your head where you might throw somebody else under the bus and you choose to zip it. She should have zipped it. She dropped down. She didn't rise up. Okay, we move on, and they show the clip of Meri on the couch asking Cody if he would help her move. And Meri said, well, will you drive the truck up to Pier 1? Of which she then admits, I don't know why I asked him. I'm capable of driving that truck. She said that the truck was Jen's husband's truck. And apparently she's driven the truck in the past. She was like, I'm capable of driving that truck. I don't even know why I asked him.
I know how to drive that freaking truck. I don't know why I asked him, to be honest with you.
I don't know if she was hanging on to him a little bit longer or if maybe production just told her to ask him because then they would do some filming up in Pier 1. So I don't want to completely diss on her for that because it may have just been an opportunity to do some filming. So it is what it is. Now the line she said, consider it my severance package, the fact that you're going to help me move and drive the truck. I always thought was a funny line. It is a funny line. Meri, I've always said, Meri is the funniest of the three of them, by far. She has the best one-liners. That was a good one-liner. She even got Robyn to laugh. Robyn laughed. I should put a clip. I'll put a clip in. I say the woman is the most miserable thing on earth. So here I'm going to share with you a spontaneous moment, not a forced, I'm going to smile here to show how happy I am. Spontaneous laughter. It's like those volcanoes that erupt every couple hundred of years.
What day?
Call it my severance package.
Miracles do happen. Cody was confused by it, and Tamron points out that he seemed confused, and they kind of took it in a different direction than I expected. How did she put it? Okay, generally speaking, the idea being Meri's taking nothing away from the marriage. Nothing. She's just walking away. Well, with the exception of Coyote Pass that she still has her name on. But other than that, she's not getting alimony, obviously no child support. There's no other properties besides that land. There's nothing else. There's no bank accounts. There's no 401k. There's no anything. Okay, so she's like, this is my severance package. So now Tamron kind of takes the leap to talking about how Meri has always gotten an equal part of everything financially in the family, and that she's received a lot of flack from people, community, vloggers, bloggers, fans of Sister Wives, whoever, about the fact that she had one child, but she received so much. And Meri goes on to say, yeah, I never really understood that. Like, I gave in equally. I don't understand why I shouldn't get an equal amount back. I still struggle with this. I do agree that if they all equally put into the family fund, that they should all equally receive from the family fund. I do get that. I do understand that. What I personally have a difficult time with is the fact that early on, let's go back to Lehigh. Okay, in Lehigh, they had this house. They had 3 portions to it. Okay, so Meri had an equal portion of the house for 2 people, as Janelle did for 7 people, and as Christine did for 7 people. Now, I mean, it's the way the house was designed and built. I get that. I don't know. I do know that for a while, Isabel stayed there with her. So there was one of Christine's children that stayed in one of the bedrooms that was there. Man, I just felt like it kind of would have been nice if maybe, I don't know, maybe if she took some of the boys. I don't know. I don't know if she got along with the kids that long. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but here's the other part of it. Let's let that go. I feel like if you're treating it as a whole family, it would have been nice for Meri to say, look, I've got 3 bedrooms. Mariah has her own room. I've got my room. I have a whole nother bedroom. Plus, the living room is pretty empty because a lot of times Mariah's hanging out with the other girls. Nobody's in there. So that extra room is going to be a library that all the kids can come to. Now we'll have hours because, you got to respect this is my house. But like on Sundays between noon and 4, come on into the library and people can do their homework or they can read books or whatever. And, wouldn't that have been nice? I think that would have been a nice gesture. Maybe it could have been like Friday night movie nights. Meri could have had popcorn and movies on Friday nights, and then it could have been a 3 or 4 hour time block on Sundays where it would have just been quiet time, study time in that same space. Wouldn't that have been cool? And it would have been time for her to really bond too with I'm solving problems that is neither here nor there. All right, we're off tangent. Let's get back on track. In terms of splitting things equally, they also split the money for food equally. Christine had 7 mouths to feed. Janelle had 7 mouths to feed. Meri had 2. How can that possibly be equal? It's not. It's not. How Meri can in good conscience take that money knowing that the other children are now eating highly processed food because it's so cheap and things that aren't as good for them, and she's having fresh vegetables and fresh fruit, stuff that they can't afford to have, the best cuts of meat. And she admitted that on the show, that her and Mariah have all the healthy food in their house. Well, of course, you have 6 times the amount of money. Try to convince me that's fair. It's not. You want to convince me when it comes to houses it's fair? Okay, fine. Why she needed to spend $5,000 a month on rent? She didn't. And so many people, don't come back, and so many people always say, well, she had that business, she had all those clothes. She managed to move all those clothes into the carriage house, into a garage. Those clothes would have fit in, that garage is bigger at her house. She could have had them all out in that extra garage that she had on that property. She didn't need that huge house. She didn't need it. But she wanted everything to be equal. And it had to have felt lonely to be in a house that big. It wasn't like warm and cozy. It was huge. I'm judging her now. I'm judging.
Sure are. Now the...
Just didn't seem right. Takes money away from other people. Now, I will say, if she was watching the way Robyn was taking money hand and fist and spending it on this, that, and everything else, I can't blame Meri then. If that was her reasoning behind it, like I'm watching this little thing taking money right and left. I deserve mine? Okay. It doesn't justify back in Lehigh how she was taking all that money for food. So there is a precedent for her taking more than really she deserved. But eventually, after watching everything Robyn got, and I know she was well aware of everything Robyn got, I can't blame her anymore at that point. I just wish Janelle would have taken her blinders off about a decade earlier. Oh, kills me. I gotta go buy another Janelle Speaks t-shirt. She probably brings in like 5 times the amount of money I do. I still don't care. I support that woman. Oh, she was done wrong. She was done wrong. Okay. Hey, sister friends, if you haven't had an opportunity to do so yet, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment down below. If you feel so compelled, you can become a member of this channel as well. And finally, before you do your Amazon shopping, make sure to check out my links down below. By taking a look at it before you do your shopping, it benefits my channel, and I appreciate you. Now more with Tamron Hall and Meri Brown. Let's move on. Let's move on. Off topic, Jenny, off topic.
This is a pattern.
Full disclosure, I don't think he's a fan of mine, and I'm okay with that.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think...
Because
Meri said he's not a fan of mine. She confirmed. I suspected that he wasn't.
I mean, you hold people accountable, and some people don't want to be. Anyway, so Yeah.
That was another example of her talking around things and not being specific. And some people don't like that. And Cody, we're talking about Cody. You just said we're talking about Cody. She didn't even realize. She already called out Cody. And then halfway through her answer, she goes, and some people... No, Cody. You already said it was Cody. You can say, and Cody doesn't like that. This code talk that she uses, she can't help herself. She can't help herself. It bugs me. She does it the most out of everybody in the whole family, besides Cody. Her and Cody are equal. Janelle and Christine don't do it as much. I mean, they do it some, but not nearly as much. Meri, it's like, what? And, really, 75% of the time you know what she's talking about. 85% of the time you know what she's talking about. But it's annoying. It's annoying to listen to her just not be honest and just say it, I guess. Or does she think we don't know? Does she think that by the end of that sentence we forgot we were talking about Cody? Or does she think she's being clever? I don't know. I guess this kind of talk frustrates me because I don't talk in ambiguity at all. I feel like if you have to talk in ambiguity, you shouldn't speak. If you're talking and you're having to talk around something because you're not supposed to be using certain words or saying certain things, just zip it. Don't say anything. Those are words that shouldn't be coming out of your mouth. You should have checked yourself first and not said anything. That's another one of those rise up moments. But I don't think that was the situation. I think this has just become a habit of hers. And then when we're talking about Cody. What do you mean people? It's a pet peeve of mine. I realize it is. It's always been a pet peeve of mine. When people use also another one of those. People use the word one.
Do you have an example?
And if one, what would somebody say? I was just think of a question. How do you like working on the set in movies? Well, when one has to get up in the morning. What are we talking about? Just in general, when people wake up, or how is it? When you work on the set in the morning? That was the question. So like with these answers, when people use these generalizations, when one does that use of one, the generalization like to everybody, I'm like, I don't want to know about everybody's life. We'd like to know about what it was like for you working on this set.
It bugs me too.
Has anyone else ever noticed that? That's a pet peeve of mine. This is the same kind of thing, so I guess that's why it's getting under my skin. We're moving on. All right, so the next question that she was referring to Meri Brown and sister wife, she goes, do I still call you sister wife? And Meri says, I am not a sister wife anymore. So it's very different from Janelle and Christine, because Janelle and Christine still have that bond and that relationship. So they still refer to themselves as sister wives because together they are each other's sister wives. But Meri, understandably, has left the family and is not in contact with anybody. So, yeah, not a sister wife. Makes sense. It's just the first time I've heard her say it. Okay, here's the question where she does the ambiguous response and the code speak. How do things stand with you and the rest of the sister wives right now?
Some is a little bit more interaction than others, but
Well, there are only 3, so...
Right.
All right, so we got the non-response exactly like all the way back in, when was Tamron? She did seasons 6 through 9. We're at 19, so it was over a decade ago. Meri's still giving the same kind of, well, you'll see some kind of responses and interactions. There'll be sister wives and maybe Cody, and I'll be there, and there'll be some togetherness. There might be talking or not, sometimes there'll be no talking, and that'll play out, but you'll have to watch and see if there's communication. There might be communication or not. My interpretation of Meri's response. All right, so Tamron, not thrilled with the response, decides to probe deeper.
But
Well, there are only 3, so...
Right.
So who are you speaking with?
You're gonna see some conversations kind of coming up in the next part.
Okay, I'll ask more pointedly.
Okay.
What is your relationship like with Robyn? Because on set, I felt that the most tension was between you and Robyn.
We got to pause there for a second. This goes all the way back to seasons 7 through 9. That was over a decade ago. Between 7 through 9. Tamron said, I felt on set there was the most tension between you and Robyn. Stuff was going down a long time ago. Meri, why did it take you so long to wake up? You knew this was happening all the way back then, or did you? I don't know. Let's listen to your response.
You were his first wife.
Really?
Meri's shocked that this is Tamron's experience.
I did. Okay. I felt like when I asked about certain things, you would look at Cody, and then she was always...
The camera cuts away, so we don't get to see the whole thing. Tamron gives a specific explanation. She says, yes, like when I would ask a question, you would look at Cody, and then she was like, and then she kind of like leaned over. So I'm thinking like she would grab Cody's leg or grab Cody's arm or something like that to indicate, watch what you're saying, or pay attention, or don't answer this. Or they probably had secret code all figured out between the two of them too about like, answer this, don't answer that. At any rate, I'm sure they had their own little secret thing. So that was Tamron saying, okay, I'd ask you a question, you'd look at Cody, and then she would do something to Cody. What exactly? I don't know, because the camera cuts away. Thank you very much, TLC. And then Meri agrees, as opposed to saying, I didn't notice that.
She was always... So was I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
She's like, yep, that happened. Ooh. Confirming Robyn is the neck that controls the head. So according to Meri, her relationship with Robyn is we talk when we need to. That's not a relationship. That's not a friendship at all. Need to? I talk to my gardener when I need to. Well, I would if I had a gardener. Okay, who do I talk to when I need to? I talk to my nail tech when I need to. Schedule an appointment. He's not very chatty. I barely talk to him when I'm there. And I'd say my hairdresser, but I like to talk to her. We just chat the whole time. I don't know who. I like talking to people. Who do I talk to when I need to? It's got to be people I talk to when I need to. I can't think of any. I like talking to people. I'll talk to anybody. Point being, if you're talking to somebody just when you need to, you're not in a relationship and you're certainly not in a friendship with them. So that's where she stands with Robyn. Friendship, gone. Non-existent. Okay, next question was, what is your relationship like with Cody right now? Meri goes on to say that she is dealing with a lot of grief, and it's not grief over the loss of the relationship with Cody, but it's grief over the disappointment in how he's treating her. She said throughout this time, these proceedings with the divorce, but really the divorce and the annulment and all that, that's been well done. I think she really means more with the dealings with the land, the settlement. I guess that's part of the divorce, the settlement of their property. Cody has not been able to be kind to her, and that is unfortunate. And it is, right? There's never an excuse to not be kind. Cody is getting the lion's share of everything. He should be more than kind.
Least he can do.
In terms of the drama with Cody and Tamron, we have Meri's confirmation that Cody does not like Tamron. We all kind of knew that anyway by putting 2 and 2 together and the puzzle pieces together. But this is the first time anyone has come out and verbally confirmed, yeah, he's not a fan of you. In addition, at the beginning of the episode, we have Tamron confirm that after 4 seasons of hosting the show, she was told that she would no longer be invited back. The reason being, she said, I quote, I was told not to come back because some people thought that the questions that I was asking were too tough. Too tough. These are questions about your life. These are things that just happened on a show. They filmed you while you were doing things, and now they're asking you questions about the things you did. These questions were too tough. Too tough for Cody. This isn't trigonometry. This isn't neuroscience. These are questions about your life. About you, your favorite subject. Now, some people may have been the Cody-Robyn combination. The K&R combo platter. Very likely. So now, I had mentioned this isn't really new news because in McKelty's Patreon in the past, I don't remember how it came up. I think she was answering somebody's question about it. She had made reference to the fact that there had been multiple different hosts and Cody had gotten multiple hosts fired because he didn't like the questions that they asked. I think it may have been actually in relation to, I think the question may have been specific to Suki and the fact that Suki throws such softball questions to Cody, if I'm recalling it correctly. And she's like, well, probably because she wants to keep her job. That's the gist of what was said. So we already knew Cody has a lot of power over there at TLC. Way too much power. Way too much power. Starting to slip away. We saw that with the firing of King Puddle Monkey, Mr. Gibbons. And the show has been better since then. They have done a better job of asking questions and going back and forth and cross-referencing what different people say and saying to them, this person said this about you. What have you got to say about that? This person said that about you. What have you got to say about that? So the couch interviews are more like that rather than just, what is your opinion on this? Which is what it's been in the past. So that I appreciate.
Magic 8 Ball.
Will we see Suki step it up?
Doubtful.
I don't know, because Suki has seen the pattern in the past. What is the pattern? Well, I went back, looked online at the hosts for all the season. Yes, I did. I love you guys. We saw Natalie Morales do season 1. She had some hard-hitting questions. Good questions. Questions all the viewers had. She wasn't very smiley. In fact, I couldn't even get a picture of her smiling at all to post. I wasn't trying to be mean. I'm sure she smiled in there somewhere. I didn't have time to watch the entire thing to catch the little glimpse of a smile, but I watched the entire intro and the whole beginning, not a crack of a smile. So the thing that was closest to not be, she just did she took it on like a serious reporter. I don't think that sat well with Cody, especially at the beginning, because he's such the man and the patriarch and women are here and he is here. So I don't think he liked a woman talking to him that way. Not at all. So that was kind of an uncomfortable, awkward situation. But I do believe that she came back. I believe she came back for seasons 2, 3, and 4, possibly 5. Right around seasons 4 or 5, there was a time where Natalie Morales in the interview said to Cody that he was a womanizer. That was the end of Natalie Morales.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye!
Okay, so we had Natalie Morales there from seasons 1 through roughly 4 or 5. Cody got rid of her. Enter Tamron Hall. Delightful, lovely Tamron Hall. Couldn't be sweeter. She was there for seasons 6 through 9. And as we just heard on the show, she was told to not return because some people felt her questions were too difficult. Bye-bye, Tamron Hall.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye!
So then who was next? There wasn't a tell-all online for season 10. They just had this episode of behind the scenes with Cody and his wives tell his secrets.
You got to be kidding.
Don't care. Maybe there was a tell-all too. I don't know. If there was, it's been scrubbed. Not online. That might have been what they did in place of a tell-all. Don't know. Season 11, we introduce Andrea Canning. She stuck around for a little while. Well, 2 seasons. She was there for 11 and 12. And then bye-bye Andrea Canning.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye!
I don't know what was the question. that upset Cody, but that's as long as she lasted. Season 13 brought on Sushin Puck. I remember that year, and I remember thinking, why do we keep having different hosts? Who is she and why? She was sweet. She was nice. I don't think she was controversial at all. I don't remember her asking anything hard-hitting. Nevertheless, that's the only time she hosted.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye!
Season 14, there's no tell-all. Season 15, there's no tell-all. Now, season 15 is the COVID year, so there wouldn't have been a tell-all. They wouldn't have all gotten together and done anything. They barely had footage to show. And actually, because they're so far behind, that's probably why there wasn't a tell-all in season 14 too. It probably actually was COVID in season 14, but they were airing a year or two previous. So they couldn't get together because they were in the year 2020, even though they were airing a year or two prior.
Come again?
Starting with season 16, we get Sukanya Krishanan, otherwise known as Suki, the delightfully sweet lady who asks no hard-hitting questions and gives no follow-up questions. It's horrible. Season 16, season 17, season 18, now season 19. She has learned how to stick around. Longevity as a host. Be bland. Be vanilla. Be boring. Don't challenge. Giggle and laugh with Christine, Janelle, and Meri, and think that that's what the viewers all want to see. Ask about falling in love. Talk about having sex. Oh, so controversial. But brush over everything of significance when it comes to Cody and Robyn. Oh, maybe ask an important question, but when they give a non-answer, accept it. Ugh. So frustrating. I expect the same. We did not see in the preview anything different. When Cody said, I'm gonna shut you down, she was like, it's as dramatic as she gets. That's as challenging as she gets to him. Oh, she was thinking deep down inside, oh, don't take my paycheck. No, I need this job. I hope she proves me wrong. We'll see. And that's the wrap up from the Tamron Hall interview with Meri Brown. And there'll be a lot more videos coming because we are ramping back up with Sister Wives. Have a great day. God bless. Adios. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, sister friends.